Good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Morris. I'm the Director of Business Development for Gaming for GTS Distribution, and welcome to another one of our Publisher to Retailer webinars. Today, we are joined by Tom Wetzel, who's a Marketing Manager at Teams and Kosmos, and we're going to be talking about three awesome games that are upcoming from his company. I believe, and you can correct me if I say anything wrong here, Tom, but they're going to be previewed at Gen Con, and they have a couple of different release dates between the three of them. But the main three we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about a two-player game called Imhotep Duel, which is based on the Imhotep 2 to 4 player game that Kosmos came out with recently. It's been very popular, of course. We're also going to talk about Roll for Adventure, which is designed by two of my favorite people on the planet, Matthew Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert, who are good friends of mine and have done several games we've worked on in the past with. And then we're also going to talk about a game called Tribes. Now, Tribes is going to be really cool because I have some personal connection to this one. I just played it for the first time fully on Saturday this past weekend in my game group. It was the only game out of 8 different games that they wanted to play immediately right after. We finished and they went, reset it, we're doing it again. This was awesome. So there was an immediate connection to that game, which was really, really cool. So very excited to talk about these games. Just as a reminder, so anyone who is here or anyone who orders between today, which is July 22nd, and if I do my math right, next Monday is July 29th of 2019. If you pre-order any of the games this week from GTS and your sales reps, you'll be able to get 52% off MSRP pricing as well, which is always a good thing, a little bit extra margin. Never hurts, especially around this crazy kind of convention wild time frame of the year we're going through right now. So with that, though, Tom has been a guest before, so he's got a good idea of what we're looking for and what we're going to talk about. So I will turn the microphone and the podium over to him and let him talk to you. If you do have any questions along the way, feel free to let us know. You can open up your chat window, which is just hover over the video, and there's a little bubble on the bottom. When you send a chat message, you can either choose to send it to all panelists, which are myself, Tom, and Jessica, our sales director, or you can send it to all panelists and attendees. So if you wanted all the other retailers and everyone else to see the questions, you can do that too. So either is fine. As I say, everything's on the table. Just let us know what you'd like to know, and we can take it from there. Tom, with that, the floor and your new office is yours, my friend.
Thank you, Scott. Awesome. And welcome, everybody. Very excited to be here to share these games with you today. We've got 3 really cool games. As Scott was saying, we're going to go over Imhotep the Duel, Roll for Adventure, and Tribes. All of these are going to release at Gen Con August 1st, but they're also available for retailers to sell on August 1st as well. So if you order them now from GTS, they should be able to get you copies in time to sell for that release date, which the first time we've done this, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's a great idea. So let's see, I've got a little bit of a PowerPoint. We'll go over the titles real quick. Let's see here if I could share. Oh, I did not do the play. That's fine. All right. So before I get into the 3 titles, I just wanted to go over a little bit of the Kosmos brand and how we see ourselves and we want you to see us. And this, if you've been to my webinars before, you've seen something very similar, top quality that you can trust. And that goes across the board with everything that we offer. First of all, we've got a lot of experience. We've got 50 years of board game specific experience, but Kosmos in Germany has been around for 200 years. So we know what we're doing. We've done it for a while. And we also use the top quality materials and components are, thick cardboard, nice solid dice. Everything is just a top quality, the best that we can get. And with that, because we have the history in the industry, we get a lot of the best board game designers and authors. And the authors is an interesting idea, or the editors actually, that we also have. All of the designers, they submit games to us, and then they go through a very thorough process of playtesting with our editors, who I think it's an extra touch for streamlining games and making them just the best they can be. Top-notch customer support. If you have any problems at all with your games, you can always contact us. We work closely with GTS, so obviously you can contact them and we'll work through them as well. But if you or your customers have any problems, components, game questions, anything like that, we are there to help. And I've got contact information at the end of the slideshow. And then just a quick, the brands that we're known for. We have some, I think, the best well-known brands. Exit the Game, obviously. Imhotep, which we're going to go over one of that franchise today. Lost Cities, it's a great franchise, and then Legends of Andor, Drop It. There's quite a few more, but those are the ones I just wanted to kind of point out as some of our top brands. Today we're going to go over these 3 titles. First one, let's go over Imhotep the Duel. And at first glance, you'll notice this is based off of the Imhotep board game that was the Spiel nominated game in 3 years ago, but it's also won a lot of subsequent awards, and it's just a great brand. It's got a lot of recognition from gamers, so a lot of people are going to already know and recognize the Imhotep brand, which is great for your store. That being said, it's whole new gameplay. It's not just a 2-player version of Imhotep. It's actually a completely different setup with a harbor and your own site boards. We'll show some images of that a little bit later. And then I also really like this. It's a low price point. The MSRP is going to be $19.95, which I feel like is just really attractive as well. Why Imhotep Duel is great. Again, board gamers are going to recognize that Imhotep brand. The game is easy to teach. I taught this at Origins probably 100 times, and it teaches in about 5 minutes. If you're talking to board gamers and people who've played Imhotep, the base game, I think that can actually go down a little bit. The setup is easy because there's actually few components. There's a lot of tiles, but I mean, they're tiles that don't need to be in any specific order. And so setting it up is easy, and setting it up to play again and again and again is also really easy. And then it's already getting great reviews because this came out in Germany, so we get some reviews that way, which is always nice. But also, some people have been given pre-release copies. So if you go online, you'll see a lot of great reviews. And here we have David and Ilka, they're giving it a big thumbs up. So here's some of the components. You'll see not a ton of stuff. It's 60 cargo tokens, 8 meeples, double-sided boards, boat tokens, and harbor. Now these are all nice thick cardboard, and the meeples are wood, and everything is nice top quality, but you can see the game doesn't take long to set up. Some of the statistics. It's a 2-player game. It's for 10 and up. It plays in 30 minutes. That can go down, especially if you've played it once. That can be a quicker game. And you'll note that little helper app icon on the bottom of the back of the box there. That indicates that this is going to be on the Kosmos helper app. So if you want to learn the game, or if customers want to learn the game, they download that app and it shows them the gameplay visually and with audio. So that's a really easy way to learn the game. All right, we'll move on to Roll for Adventure. And this is one that I played with my game group last week, and it was the one that we played again and then again and then again because it's just really addicting. It's great. So this is a cooperative dice chucking game, and so cooperative is cool. Dice chucking is fun. I think this is going to check a lot of box for people. Again, high quality components, thick cardboard, nice quality dice, and a lot of components actually in this one. So part of the reason why there's a lot of components is because there's things that you can switch in and out, double-sided boards, and you can add new minions, try different heroes, different levels of difficulty. So there's a lot of replayability in this game just because of all the add-ons that you can choose to play with or without, make it easier or harder. So it's for that really, really great. Every roll you unlike some dice games where you're always trying to roll a 6, you're always trying to roll a 1. In this one, regardless of what the result is, you can use it for something. It's up to you how you want to use it. So there's always really good decisions in this. Nearly every game I've played and seen played, it comes down to like the wire. Even when I play the easy ones or the hard level, doesn't matter. It's always up to that like last roll or two where you either win or lose. And for that reason, it's really exciting. It's fantastic. And because you're playing cooperatively and because you're rolling the dice, you can't really quarterback that too much. Everyone's invested in every turn, but it's up to the player to decide how they want to use their dice. This graphic got jumped up unfortunately. Let's see here. Why roll for adventure is great. Every role can be used. Oh, and then yeah, you're a hero. You're a hero. Everyone's a hero. I love that little icon or meme. It's great. All right. So roll for adventure. The contents. There's a lot of contents in this one. Like I said, I had to actually double up on some of the columns. But like you see those boards there, they're all double-sided. The little hero, the protector you see in the corner, there's 10 of those, and you only need 4 per game. All those dice are nice quality dice, like I said again. And there's minion cards that you can see surrounding the board. There's multiples of those you can play with or without. So a lot of replayability there. 2 to 4 players for roll for adventure. 10 and up, I really think, especially because it's a cooperative game, that's realistic. You could play with some 10-year-olds for sure. 30 minutes, I think that depending on your level of difficulty, that could go up a little bit, but if you play the base game, you can definitely do it in 30 minutes. And again, this one has the tutorial on the Kosmos helper app, which is really cool. All right, move on to Tribes. This is the one that Scott was talking about earlier, and he's very excited about. I'm also very excited about this. It's from the renowned author Rustin Hakkason. He actually designed Nations and a couple of other games that we're coming out with later this year as well, or at least one. So he's definitely someone that people pay attention to and look for his new games. This is a quick playtime for a strategy game. This plays in about an hour, and it's a civ building game, so it's really great, intuitive and streamlined. And part of the reason why it feels that way is because the art and the graphics in this are very good at explaining how the game works. All right, so why it's great. Looks like they got jumped around here. Many paths to victory and ways to play. So that to me is nice because if you play the game and you want to play again, you always want to feel like you can try something new. And in this game, I think there's a lot of different ways that you can try to win. You can either go for like the big landmass or the bigger tribe, or try to get all of the epics faster than everyone else. But no one way is going to win every single time, which is nice. Quick turns in this game. On your turn, you only get one action. You get to either procreate, discover new land, grow your tribe, or discover a technology. And only one of those each turn means that your turns are relatively quick, which is nice. Strategic decisions on every move, but it's still a family-friendly game, which I think is part of the Kosmos brand. We have some games that are a little bit more difficult like this one in that it's strategic, but it's easy to learn and easy to play. So it's definitely easy, fantastic, really great. Here are the components. You can see, and I guess a little background on this game. Tribes actually came out. Tribes Early Civilization was what it was originally called back when Rustin developed and designed it and released it on Kickstarter. And then Kosmos saw the game, saw the potential, went in and redesigned the whole thing so it's colorful. And again, those graphics make things easier, but they also streamline some of the rules, making it play faster. So that colorful, nice board is part of the editorial process that every game of ours goes through. And this one is a heavy box. It's gonna MSRP at $49.95, and the reason for that is it is loaded with cardboard and wooden meeples. So let's see some of the statistics of Tribes Dawn of Humanity. 2 to 4 players, 10 plus. If you're a gamer family, a 10 plus is definitely easy to accomplish on that as well. 45 minutes, I would say that if you're playing 2-player, 45 minutes, no problem. 3 to 4 players, you're probably looking closer to an hour, but that just depends on your group. You kind of know. It's a civ building game in under an hour, and if you know civ building games, they're great. They get a lot of really strong fan base for those kind of games, but most of them last 5 hours. So having one that plays in an hour is really fantastic. It's going to give people the chance to play a game that they don't normally get a chance to play because of that time restraint.
I want to jump in on that real quick if I can, Tom. So
yeah.
and I don't know how many people know this, but I am a huge, absolutely huge Civilization game player. I love the video games. I love the board games. Played, Civ 6 all the way back to Civ 1 originally on the computer and everything like that. And Tom dead on in what he just said before, in that almost every major Civ building game that's in the board game world takes a long time, usually because they're fiddly, usually because you have to kind of keep up with things that normally a computer would normally keep up if you were playing like a Civ 6 style game. And while I've enjoyed many of them, I have always felt that they are much more events than board games because they're so long. And that was one of the things that actually took us by surprise, because I don't know if you can go back one slide, Tom, to the last one that you had the picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of the components out and the board out. Yeah, there you go. So one of the things that's really cool about this game from a player's perspective is you have the main board that has different kind of technology tracks, and then your different events and your different kind of advancements in civilization. And you have to manage that, but at the same time, you have to manage the little hexagons that you see your settlers on there. And there's a lot of really good choices in a very short amount of time of, do you actually exhaust those lands and use them for something as a wild card, but then possibly never use them again? Do you, invest in one area versus another area? Because like any good civilization game, you can't do everything. You got to focus on some type of track. But that really blew us away from a gameplay perspective. We were like, wow, there's so much choice and so much decisions, but it was never in a situation of like analysis paralysis where we felt like we were going to be stuck playing the next turn for the next 20 minutes. Our first game, reading the rules, punching the boards, getting everything set up, putting a little tag on the bag, which is a nice little touch. I like that. But doing everything, learning it and playing it only took an hour, and that was with 4 players. So
oh, wow.
It was really good. So yeah, I can't say enough about this game. This game really took me by surprise. Tom showed it to me originally as a kind of a demo thing at Gamma. It looked really cool, and I loved the idea of the time track at the top and all that stuff. But actually sitting down and playing it and getting a chance to actually dig into it, it was super, super cool. So very, very happy about that one.
Cool. Thanks, Scott. Yeah. It's a fantastic game, and I guess I mean, it's a game that I could probably go over and teach everyone in this. It would take 5 minutes, but because we're going to go over everything here, I'll just kind of summarize the 3 games that we went over, and also the kind of overall theme of Kosmos games is that we want people to remember that we're top quality components and customer service and gameplay and just every aspect of the industry, top quality. And Imhotep the Duel. Again, this is a brand that has momentum. It's getting great reviews. It's a 2-player game, which I think is also getting a lot of interest right now. Our 2-player line, which we have famously, I would say the best 2-player line in the whole industry, is getting a lot of extra attention. Games like Targi and Lost Cities and the Rose King and all of these ones that have been out for a long time are continuing to get more and more attention, because I think the 2-player series is definitely on fire right now. And adding to this with Imhotep the Duel is just a great way to get something new on the table for a lot of those people. Roll for Adventure, dice chucking co-op game. This is just a blast. I've had so much fun playing this. I've been that annoying table next to everyone else at a convention as we jump up and give each other high fives. It is definitely on the kind of border of strategy and party game, but definitely some real strategy. And really looking forward to seeing how that one's going to be received. And then Tribes Dawn of Humanity, strategic game for family and friends. I really think that this is one that's going to resound with a lot of people. And then here's my contact if you want any questions or if you have any concerns, anything at all, just contact at thamesandcosmos.com. And then I also wanted to reiterate a couple of things that all three of these games, Imhotep the Duel, Roll for Adventure, Tribes Dawn of Humanity, they're all coming out. Gen Con, August 1st is the street date. So if you want to sell these and kind of jump on that momentum of Gen Con, for all those people who aren't going to Gen Con, which is a lot, you can get these games in your store and sell along with us on the same day, which I think is just a great opportunity. I also recognize I didn't put the price for Roll for Adventure, which is a great price. It's going to be $34.95 for the big 12-inch box with lots of components. Not sure how we got that price, but I'm happy with it. So
it helps when you're a big publisher and you do quite a bit of units in manufacturing, right? So yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about the timing. You know, for the last, I don't know, at least 5 years of my life, it's been super hard for any publisher to be able to coordinate with manufacturers overseas, get things shipped in time. It seems like, especially the last 2 or 3 years, there's just been like, shipping crisis and port crisis and just one thing after another that's led to a lot of delays. And I know a lot of the retailers I've talked to, they've had a lot of frustration over the last couple of years when, Gen Con rolls around, all this hype, all this excitement, all these things about these games, and then people go and they start posting on social media, and someone walks in their store and says, "Hey, I just saw this game, Imhotep the Duel, I want to get it." And they're like, "Yeah, don't have it," right? Because it hasn't gotten in yet. But the fact that all three of these are going to be available to release on the same day in a retailer store as the same day as it's happening in Gen Con, that's super cool. That is not common at all, as most retailers know. It's usually pretty hard to do. I only know of maybe 2 other publishers that have been able to do that. But that's from things that they've had to plan all the way back from last year. So it's there's a lot of work and a lot of effort that goes into that, and I'm sure a lot of the retailers really appreciate that. It's good stuff.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a lot of work, but I think Kosmos, in addition to being top quality and that, but we really are. Thames and Kosmos, specifically in the States, owes its entire success to the independent retail stores. So if we ever have a chance that we can help out, we're really happy to, because it's paid off for us in the past. We hope it'll pay off for them too.
That's awesome. Just also as a reminder for all the retailers, Kosmos is part of the GTS demo program. So if there's any of these 3, Roll for Adventure, Tribes, or Imhotep Duel, that you would want to get in addition to pre-ordering with the special, but get a demo unit for your store, you can get, basically the way the demo program works is you can get 1 copy per game per storefront per year. It's only base games, no expansions, but you can get them for 25% of MSRP. So that's a great opportunity as well. All 3 of these are actually really good opportunities for games to have on a demo table, especially Imhotep and Tribes. Those are things that are really easy to teach and really quick to teach. Roll for Adventure may take a little bit longer just because there's a couple extra rules to it, but it is also a game that has really good table presence. It's one of those games that when you look at it, you see it, you're like, you kind of get an idea. You see heroes, you see villains, you see good guys and bad guys and dice and kind of what's going to happen. But digging into the rules and all the different things that happen in it is where kind of the magic comes out. But all 3 of these actually, and surprisingly, even Tribes with 4 players managing, each of their own little civilizations, does not take up a large footprint. So if you have limited demo space, or you need to be very, tight on demo space, all 3 of these are great opportunities. And of course, Imhotep is, 2-player game, so it's obviously a much smaller footprint than the average bear, but all 3 would be great for demo options as well. So I just want to make sure I point that out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The demo program's great. I would love to, see that happen, especially with these games. They all look great, and I think they'll get a lot of good reaction from people.
Sure. Derek, you asked a question I'm not too sure I understand. You'd asked, can we get more than 1 demo game per week? Are you asking around demos coming from GTS as part of the demo program, that you're only getting 1 per week? Or are you talking about the demos that have been available in the past from the webinars? I'm not too sure what the question was on that one. So if you can let me know, I'll be happy to answer it. So, but if not, if something doesn't come up, feel free to email me too, and happy to help out. In fact, if anyone wants to get a hold of myself at GTS, it's really easy. It's just smorris@gtsdistribution.com. Happy to help out. Tom had put up earlier, I think it was contact@tamesandcosmos.com. yeah, Tom and everybody there. I have to say this, and it kind of makes me laugh that I have to say this, but it's kind of a reality in our situation in the industry. A lot of publishers tend to present up, and many people think, oh, these guys are big, these guys are huge, and they're really only like one or two guys in a garage. Thames and Kosmos is as big as they look. They are a fully staffed, fully functioning publisher. It's one of the things we love about them is when I tell you that Tom is marketing manager, he's a marketing manager. He's not like a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he is, but he's not doing like 20 other jobs at the same time, which is really, really cool. So it's great to be partnered with them. T&K is one of our biggest partners. So obviously, we've had Tom on before talking about games. We have him on here, and I'm sure we will have him on with many more in the future. There's still some really awesome adventure games coming out that are going to be later this year that look really cool too. So if you have success with exit games, I would highly recommend to check those out for sure. Here we go. Derek says, the demo program. My rep said to get them, we needed to order at least 3 copies of a game, and one could be priced as a demo copy, but we could only do that with 1 game per week / invoice. I will have to check on that. Derek, I will talk with Jessica, our sales director, and talk with your sales rep on that. I don't know personally of any limit of you can only get 1 demo copy per week of anything. So I will take that as an offshoot. I will talk with them, and then we'll get you an answer as soon as we can get you. So it shouldn't be a problem, but we will make sure to get it straightened out and taken care of for you. So awesome. Excellent. All right. It doesn't look like there's any more questions. So retailers, thank you so much. Really do appreciate your time. I know it's always busy and especially crazy on Monday mornings. Tom, thank you very much. Really do appreciate the time. These are 3 awesome games. I think Gen Con will obviously be very successful for you, but having them available for retailers as well, the Gen Con release is going to be even better and something that'll probably give them an even bigger boost, which is awesome. So until we see you all next time, thank you so much for watching and joining, and we will talk with you all soon. Have a great week in your stores, everyone.